Join me this Christmas at 12 a.m. on Friday, December 25th for the Wonder Woman 1984 watch party. It's going to be lit. Warner Brothers will be watching. Will you?
From the bottom of my heart, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
This guy's channel, Jody's channel.
Jody's Corner. My favorite.
Thank you so much.
YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. I am back. We got some more news revolving this AT&T scandal, man. Jason Kilar is just doubling down, and it's not good. The damage control being played here is iconic, bruh. God dang. Let's take a look at this article that was sent to me. This is a Variety article where Jason Kilar speaks out and doubles down on his belief of why AT&T deciding to send all of the 2021 HBO films, all 17 of them, to HBO Max was a good thing, and he was doing it for the consumer. Okay, so yeah, WarnerMedia CEO Jason Kilar, he's the ultimate reason why a lot of this happened. You know, this everything that they're going through rests on his shoulders. He's an AT&T employee. WarnerMedia is an AT&T company. Don't get it twisted. It's the merger. So let's go ahead. He put a big statement out in a letter, kind of like Denis Villeneuve did when he said that AT&T hijacked Warner Brothers, Jody Damas. So let's take a look at this letter. So to make sense of all the 2121 and what it pretends for the media and entertainment sectors going forward, Variety spoke with a cross-section of the industry leaders of the brand name. The pandemic is absolutely accelerating change because consumers are changing. Here he is. This is all him. He says, in the case of WarnerMedia, this means that we need to talk about the fan. The fan. Let's talk about the customer, and let's talk about the amazing things that we can do on their behalf. This is not about the fan. Like, what is this going on? This is never about the fans. He's trying to spin this and make it seem like all of the decisions being made were made for us because we're the ones that get to see all of the films on HBO Max. For sure, I already see the damage control here. He says that really is what our business comes down to, which is how we can move the world through the story, which of course is very firmly focused on the fan. And we want to do is leverage every single tool in the arsenal to be able to do a better job each and every day. Bullshit. He says, unfortunately, we don't think that the world will snap back the way it was on a magic date in April or June or September. Let's freeze it right there. Unfortunately, we don't think that the world will snap back the way it was on a magic date like April, June, or September. That's interesting to me. Do you guys remember when Wonder Woman 1984 was moved from November 2019 to June 5th or June 2nd of 2020? That was its official release date, right? Then the pandemic was a serious thing. So they decided to move it from June to August 14th. Only 2 months ahead of time. They said, okay, all right, coronavirus might be fine. Let's move it to August. And then they moved it from August to October. And then they moved it from October to December. They moved the movie 4 times. This proves what he's saying is bullshit. You absolutely thought that it was going to be over like a April, a June, or September because you moved Wonder Woman from June to August to October to December. Y'all did the same exact thing. Look at this. It's not like the world will magically snap back. Well, you guys had to learn that with your experience with Wonder Woman 1984, huh? Straight idiots, imbeciles up there. So much bullshit in this statement. We think this pandemic is going to have some long-lasting effects. So we had to make a decision to make, which is what we do in the context of the pandemic. And how can we be thoughtful about not just the fans, which is where it starts and ends, but also the partners we work with, whether it's a director, a producer, or an actor, whether it's an exhibition community, which we care deeply about. I feel very good about the decision to offer day and date streaming and theatrical releases for Warner Brothers 2021 film slate, which is about being able to give fans the choice. In the United States market, they got to make the choice in the middle of a pandemic whether they go to the theaters or whether they go to HBO Max or both. Now, this is so misleading. A lot of you guys think that, yes, this is a good thing because, hey, we get this. And it's weird to me because a lot of people who agree with Jason Kilar's mentality say, Why are you guys so upset? You can see it in theaters and on HBO Max. You guys have the choice. And I feel like people just they're not educated in what's going on in the world. Half of the country is shut down. Over 150 million people cannot go see this movie in theaters because the biggest states are relatively closed. Theaters are the New York, California, major parts of Texas, a lot of parts of Florida, closed. You know, we're talking about over 150 million people who don't have an option. But what you guys got fooled with is because he says you could see it in HBO Max or theaters, not realizing half the country can't even go to the theater. And Jason Kilar knows that. And he used that as a reason to put it on HBO Max because he knows many people will not go to theaters because they can't. We don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I can't see anything in theaters because we don't have theaters. They are closed. And they have been closed since March of 2020. Jason Kilar lives out here. He knows that. That's why he made that decision and used the cop-out like, oh, you could see it both places. No, you know that Jason's not. You know half the country can't. You're a disingenuous liar. You're a deceitful douchebag. Half the country can't see it. And now you know that people are going to funnel to your HBO Max. Let me tell you why this is a shady BS tactic. If I have a streaming service in the midst of a pandemic and I happen to have 17 blockbuster films in my back pocket, while all these other studios are withdrawing, holding their films back, pushing them back, selling them off to streamers to recoup money, and they're doing anything. But I have the advantage. I have a hot streaming service that is not doing too well, that I also have 17 movies, even though they're supposed to be in theaters. I could just undercut everybody else and just release them on my streaming service to boost my subscriptions in this year's pandemic 2021. That's like insider trading. That's like juicing in sports. You're taking advantage of a difficult year of a pandemic and you're using it to your advantage. People can't go see it in theaters. Let's put it on our streaming service to boost our subscriptions, to catch Disney, to catch Netflix. It's a shady, foul, nasty tactic, and Jason Kilar is a douchebag for it. Let's keep on reading on. All right, he says, in order for this to work financially for WarnerMedia, either the box office needs to be there or clearly HBO Max needs to carry some weight there. I feel very good about that because, again, I have done nothing else. We've kept our ear to the ground in terms of fans and fan behavior. It's our job as leaders to lead. He says, and that means being very clear about why we're doing what we're doing, being very clear about the vision for the company, and then setting and sharing context so that no matter what the role you have inside WarnerMedia, you can appreciate what we're doing and why. And then ultimately, hopefully, you feel in your heart and in your brain, sign me up. This is a mission that I believe in. And oh boy, do I believe in that strategy. What world is this guy living on? What world are you living on when you could say stuff like that? It's our job as leaders to lead. You haven't led anything. Being very clear about why we're doing what we're doing and being very clear about the vision and then sharing context. You didn't even tell Christopher Nolan, Patty. Well, you signed the deal, Patty. You didn't tell them that you were going to HBO Max. Denis Villeneuve, Judd Apatow. You didn't tell nobody that you were doing this. That's why they're mad at you. That's one of the reasons why they're mad at you. What do you talk about clear? We're doing being very clear about the vision in the company and setting and sharing context. You haven't shared shit. Jason Kilar, you haven't shared anything. You blindsided everyone. You brought in Patty and says, look, we're going to put this to streaming. Let's give you some extra money because we want you to be working with us in the future. She said, all right, cool. Thanks for the money. Peace. I'm going to Disney. Patty is gone. She's never coming back so long as you are there, so long as AT&T is doing this. She's not coming back. There's going to be no Wonder Woman 3. As it stands now with you there, with freaking AT&T looming and dooming and doing what you guys did, they're not coming back. That Wonder Woman Amazon film is not happening. Not from Patty, it's not. Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. Not from Patty, it's not. You're going to have to hire some new directors. It's over. Because you kept people in the dark. You did some shady stuff. And here you are in this letter lying to the world, talking about you're a leader and you're leading and you're sharing and you're being clear and giving context. You absolutely did not do that. Leaders lead. That means you let the people know what you're going to do. They believe in you. Don't nobody believe in you. Toby Emmerich, maybe once upon a time, but he's just a cuck boy who just sucks the balls of AT&T. He has no power. The first and probably most important aspect of the decision I made with regards to how we restructured HBO Max was how we organize ourselves specifically around content. I felt that the right thing to do in service of the customer was to have one group overseeing studios and networks rather than two. There's a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake. WarnerMedia, right? So AT&T created WarnerMedia to combine Warner Brothers, HBO, DC, CW content and do it that way. Huge mistake. So here's a guy who believes that a telecommunications company should then begin to merge all creatives and call the shots under one helm, the AT&T side, rather than the Warner Brothers side. You bought a company that's been in existence for 100 years that is known for making quality film, and you don't even give them the power to do what put them there in the first place. You strip them of their power that made them hot, and now you're making decisions for them. This is exactly why AT&T needs to go. AT&T does not know how to run a company. They don't know how to run. They know how to run their company. They don't know how to run a production company. They don't know how to run a movie studio. They don't know how to deal with morale and simple gestures of, I don't know, hey, Denis, I know you spent a lot of time and money and effort on Dune, but, we're going to send it to HBO Max. You have any thoughts? You couldn't even have the common decency to do that. Why would anybody have faith in you? And then you sit here and say statements like this. Oh, yeah, we had to have one group overseeing studios and networks rather than two. Disney didn't do that, did they? Let's really take a look into what Disney did. Disney bought 20th Century Fox. They took the Fox out and they renamed it 20th Century Studios, which allows 20th Century Studios to operate under their own brand and release still rated R content under the 20th Century Studios brand. They're not putting Disney on those titles. When Predator comes out, they even announced, I covered it on Jody's Corner, they're rebooting Predator. Alien's going to come back. When those movies come out, it's not going to say Disney on the title. It's going to say 20th Century Studios, because Disney is smart enough to know that we have a brand and a vision for Disney, and they're a brand and vision for Fox. We bought them. Let's rename them and let them continue to operate and do what they do best. Y'all made Predator popular. You guys can help. We'll oversee. We'll help call shots. We'll help give you what you need, but do y'all thing. But no, AT&T says, ooh, we have Warner Brothers, but we're AT&T. Well, let's just combine it all and call it WarnerMedia. That's a great idea. Miss me with that bullshit. Terrible idea. He says, much like every other aspect of all of our business, not just at WarnerMedia, but for everybody who is in the storytelling business, marketing is going to change on the road ahead. And I think that it should be because when you think about the role of marketing and what it ultimately needs to do, which is to influence someone, to shake them out of their slumber, to be excited about a story and to come and spend time with us, I think that technology provides so many great things that candidly we're not able to do 2 or 5 years ago in terms of what we can and should do. This guy is making no sense. This paragraph just makes absolutely no sense. He's rambling and just throwing words out there to see what sticks. This is pathetic. So whether that's targeting or marketing, whether it's the measurement of marketing or whether it's doing things creatively that weren't possible, you should expect all of those things in our future. I do get excited about the future and how we think about marketing because it should be ever more ambitious. We tell really big stories, and I think the marketing needs to be as big as able to match the tone and storytelling. The market. What are you talking about? There has been nothing wrong with Warner Brothers marketing ever. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the marketing for HBO Max, your streaming service. Keep it a buck. He says, based on all that I've seen since joining WarnerMedia in April, people absolutely believe in the vision for this company. They believe in the mission of this company, which is to move the world through story. And when you think about the 97-year history of this blessed sandbox, we've got such an amazing opportunity in front of us, thanks to the decades and decades of innovation and investment by others before us. And we also have this wonderful blessing called the internet, and we're going to take advantage of that too. You're going to take advantage of that too. This is all about that. This is Beyond Media. We're in a moment of accelerated change. Our response is to take a deep breath, to be thankful for our partners, to be thankful about our partners. Ain't that some what? Look at this. To be thankful about our partners, like Denis Villeneuve, like Patty Jenkins, like Christopher Nolan, Judd Apatow, James Gunn, everybody else that you've pissed off, all the actors, talent, producers, all the studios, like Legendary Pictures. You're getting sued. Directors Guild of America will probably sue you as well because they're upset. The Screen Actors Guild is probably coming for you. And you're talking about to be thoughtful about our partners. The only partners you're being thoughtful about are the ones that are called stockholders. To be thoughtful about the fans. You don't give a freak about the fans. Stop playing. Most importantly, and to be thoughtful about the business that we need to responsibly run. There it is. There it is. Most importantly, we need to run this business. Freak everybody else. And to do all these things by leaning into the future opposed to being afraid to do so. So he thinks he's a trailblazer here. So there's a lot of BS, a lot of damage control in this article, as you guys have read. Do not be fooled. It's really easy if you guys are not in tune with the news. Like some of you guys don't watch news YouTube. Some of you guys didn't even know that WarnerMedia is AT&T. Some of you guys didn't know HBO Max and Warner Brothers are the same thing and AT&T is all the same. It's still confusing even to me. I had to dig history on the source of WarnerMedia because me and Andy were confused about just exactly what it is. I was like, that's an AT&T company. And I was like, no, it's been around. Come to find out, they rebranded that sheet from something from 1992, and then they rebranded it and brought it back under AT&T. It's AT&T, guys. It's just confusion, though. And I understand that you guys at home like, man, what is all this about? Here's the breakdown. Here's the gist. AT&T is a cell phone company that bought Warner Brothers Studios, which releases Harry Potter, DC, and a lot of amazing films that have to do with, the Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan, Dune that's coming out. So a cell phone company bought a movie studio and expected to apply cell phone company business practices for a movie studio, and it's not really working out. And everybody is mad at them as far as directors, writers, actors, talent, movie studios. And then they lied to the public by saying, hey guys at home, you get to watch all these big budget films on HBO Max on the same day they release in theaters. So you, the consumer, will be like, oh wow, really? Yay, I love you guys. Not realizing that it completely divided a wedge between everybody in Hollywood, and it is absolutely going to affect theaters. It's going to affect the films that you watch in the future, and it's going to affect the talent that is involved with Warner Brothers. It is a short-term boost for a lot of consumers out there who are happy about it, but long term, this is a devastating sequence of events that we will see in the future unless they backtrack it. So that's basically what's going on here. It's really for the livelihood of Hollywood and the theatrical experience and just doing right business wise by your talent. Jason Kilar, you are completely incompetent. You have no idea what you're doing, and it completely shows here with this damage control based article here. Long live the theaters. I stand with Patty Jenkins. I stand with Christopher Nolan. Stand with Denis Villeneuve, and I stand with James Gunn, Judd Apatow, everybody who got shafted by this deal and everybody who will be affected long term by this deal. I stand with them. Big corporate conglomerates that don't know what they're doing, trying to create a galactic empire. I am against that. Looking back at it, I wish the government did block the sale of Time Warner to AT&T. Put down in the comment section what you guys think down below. Subscribe to the channel for more of that content. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.